My experience with the workshops I've taken here, such as the Wild and Wise, learning how to be competitive in a non-aggressive way, how to wrestle with a man, how to have a camaraderie with them in a non-aggressive way, but to still get competitive, still let my inner masculine out, was one of the huge awakenings that I had. Another one was with Kevin, going over the polarity of feminine and masculine, and really learning how to be a mentor and embody both sides, how to attract the right woman, and how to realize when I wasn't living in the right polarity, when I was being too masculine or too feminine, when I was a deflated man. I kind of got a lot of insight on how to become more of a balanced human for myself and with my beloveds and the women in my life. This work is so important for society because there's a lot of systemic contradiction out there in the world. A lot of this works, that works, how about this, how about that, and truth is truth. And that's one thing that I learned here. Not your truth, not I'm feeling this way today, I'm feeling sad. That's your truth in the moment, and that changes. But the truth of this world, of how we operate as human beings, that's what I picked up, the truth, and how to kind of change my perspective. Everything that's happening to me, I created, and it's just a lesson. All the fear that I have is just an acceleration point for me. These are all words that I learned from this course, from the mentors here at this course, and they've changed my ability to look at pain, pleasure, what I'm going through, what others are going through. So it was a complete switch of perspective. It almost gave me like a bunch of lenses. I can learn, now take this lens of suffering away and put a lens of prosperity and success, So I didn't know that I was stuck with a certain lens on, just like a camera. I learned today, over this weekend, how to change the lens of my life. What has really cracked and broken open for me is an understanding of myself and the masculine. Now hold on for a second. I showed up to this course and I immediately had like who are these guys? Who's the buff ones? Who are the aggressive ones? Who am I going to compete with? At any festival, any event I go to, you'll immediately size people up. And as I got closer and I started walking in, there was none of that. I got the drop, that barrier I had of having to be in competition with other males. I was able to see them as brothers, as lovers, as fathers, as sons. And there was other people who had lost their brothers here. I wasn't the only one suffering, and I was stuck with the perspective that I was suffering the most. I felt the most pain, but there was even more traumatic experiences than mine here. Other brothers sharing stuff, and I was learning my own lessons through their suffering. I was able to get out of my own story and be like, oh my God, my brother, like, I can't believe you've been suffering like that too. So another brother's healing taught me how to heal, and I was able to drop that barrier of having to compete with anybody, let alone another brother. So that, I guess, would be what I take away most from here, is that I'm going to be more confident, more decisive, and that's because my perspective has changed to not everyone's out to get you. Everybody's nice. Everybody's here to help you, So that's what I'm going to take from it. Sacred is the creator. Sacred is Mother Earth. Sacred is this ancient wisdom that was lost. It was tricked. We were tricked to forget about this stuff so that we were in conflict, so that there is a bunch of deception and lies. What's sacred to me is being tied back in to that tantra, into that life. What Sacred Sons is new school and old school to make true school. They did that for us. They brought old school wisdom and new school science. It's not just like, we're just gonna sit here and pray, sing kumbaya. We actually have scientific proof about hormones, of body language, our posture, our words, our effect on the community. Sacred Sons is all of that to me.